island, the island strum, down, 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 up, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up. Yeah. When I applied this to Can't Help Falling in Love, it's so interesting because it made better sense to apply a whole measure for each. Wise men say only fools rush in. Yeah. So here it is. It's kind of a faster beat, faster pulse to it. Yet the melody itself does not speed up. Yeah. The strumming speeds up. It has more energy. There's more dynamics to it. And that's something that also you're going to be experiencing or discovering on your own, that as your strumming improves and your dynamics become more vibrant and really under your control better, the song takes on a different energy. Okay, you can slow a song down when it normally would be sung fast, and it just kind of bottoms out. It's amazing to listen to it sometimes. And then you can take a song that's normally sung slowly, speed it up, and all of a sudden, oh boy, it's got this great feel to it. Okay, so it's not unusual, when you listen to different versions of songs, why does it work for this artist but it doesn't work for the other artist? It's just a whole combination of different things. They all add to the dynamics of a song. Okay, now what we did get into last week was using strum patterns to also dictate to us how we can apply picking or plucking or finger style. Okay, hybrid picking is another thing that is done as well. That's something that I do a lot of, actually, is hybrid picking, where it's a mix of strumming and picking that can happen sometimes at the same time. Okay, it's just you have to have a certain control over your fingers to be able to do that, to pluck at the same time, or strum at the same time you're picking with another finger. But using the strum patterns to kind of guide us through this is what we did, okay? Because all it is rhythm. That's what these strum patterns present to us, is rhythms, different kinds of rhythms. This is only 8 rhythms, only 8. There could be, it's innumerable. You cannot count the number of rhythms that you could possibly use in terms of your instruments. Why is that? Well, you've got a percussive quality to your instrument. You have a melodic quality to your instrument with single notes. You have a harmonic quality to your playing because of your use of chords. Okay? There's also the rests that occur between chords. Okay? Rests in a song are absolutely vital to the life of a song. Imagine listening to a singer who doesn't let up on the lyric, just keeps barreling through the lyric, no rest. The human ear is designed not to hear that kind of stuff. We need rest so that we can absorb what it is we've heard. Even if it's different phrases of a song, they have to have meaning, and we have to have the ability to take it in and absorb it instead of being bombarded with it. I have seen countless times where a song is just steamrolled over. There's no rest in between verses, no rest, nothing to signal that there's a chorus coming, or here's an instrumental part that's going to be playing through a verse or a bridge. Just absolutely ramrod the song, and it's such a shame, because then you're not playing the song for the sake of the song. You're just playing it for the sake of strumming, and that's not good. That's not good, healthy, wholesome music. It's when listen to a song. Wouldn't you get tired of it? I listen to rock and roll once in a while. I would be absolutely catatonic if I had to listen to a lead guitar play the whole time. I want to hear the bass. I want to hear the rhythm. I want to hear the drums. I want to hear keyboards. I want to hear the singer. Okay? Not there for the lead guitarist. All right? So that's something to keep in mind when you're playing. And also when you're practicing. Okay? All right, so we looked at strum patterns and we talked about home position, right? Home position for the left, home position for the right. All right, home position for the left, thumb above the arc of the back of your instrument, your ukulele, hanging just above the arc on the thumb, right? Keeping the fingers fluid, right? And if we turn our wrist in, then we've got 1 finger, 2 finger, 3 finger, 4 finger orientation right here, right? It's not fixed, not by a long shot, but it does help you to orient yourself correctly, okay? Home position for the right. The thumb on string 4, index finger on string 3, middle finger on string 2, and your ring finger on string 1. The thumb should be forward of the fingers. Okay, that's a natural position for the thumb to be in because these fingers are crooked. Right? They're crooked. Normally they're crooked here at this joint, the major knuckle of your fingers, while the thumb is extended out. Okay? You should not be putting this home position near the shoulder. It should be over the sound hole. There's no impediment underneath the strings. There is an impediment here. Okay? And there are those occasions when plucking can be done here. But that's for more advanced players. You'll see more advanced players do that. Okay? So we're going to count out the beats, these quarter beats. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we're going to start with the thumb. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. For those of you who need to, you can also place your pinky on your soundboard here, just off to the bottom of the sound hole if you need stability. Okay? And there's a little bit of a waving action here too. I don't know if you can see that. All right, so now we're articulating each of these notes. G, C, E, A, G, C, E, A, G, C, E, A, G, C, E, A. Yeah? So practice that. Now, then if we take our C chord, all right, let's try that, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to slow it down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's try going backwards. 4, 3, 2, 1, 4, 3, 2, 1, 4, 3, 2, 1, 4, 3, 2, 1, 4, 3, 2, 1, 4, 3, 2, 1, 4, 3, 2, 1, 4, 3, 2, 1, 4, 3, 2, 1, 4, 3, 2, 1. How does that feel? Felt kind of foreign, huh? Yeah, it feels foreign. It does for me too. I actually don't. I don't pick that much. I don't do this. I'm a very out of control kind of finger picker, actually. You know. I do more hybrid picking, so that's more comfortable for me, okay? But eventually what you want to do, all right, is pick up your speed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 3, 2, 1, 4, 3, 2, 1, 4, 3, 2, 1, 4, 3, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 3, 2, 1, 4, 3, 2, 1, 4, 3, 2, 1, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right? So your objective should be accuracy. You want to make sure that all the notes are sounding out. And where you hear a muffle, where you're not hitting it right or too loud, and you might hear that because of this finger here, your ring finger, because it's the weakest of all your fingers. So you might want to concentrate on strengthening the muscle of this finger. Do that, okay? This is on your 1 string. And if you notice that, okay, there's very little movement that's happening. I'm just doing this pull. And the pull is happening off of this. It's hinging off of here. So most of the strength is coming from this pad here. That's where the force is, when that force to pull is from there. But that's why this joint here has to stay stiff, right here between the palm knuckle and the primary knuckle of the finger, so that this finger is developing the strength that it needs to pull on the string, right? And remember, somebody asked a question too about the placement of the fingers. It's your pad. The pad of your fingers should be on top here, but slightly underneath each string for the fingers. For the thumb is more on the side of the string, a little bit on the top, because your pad, your pad's not flat, it's rounded. So part of it's going to be on the top of the string, and where it matters when it comes to picking is the picking happens underneath the string. And for some of you who have long fingernails, that's a good idea, I don't keep my fingernails too long because they require attention, and I don't like doing that too much. So I just keep them just slightly longer than my left hand. And depending on how you're going to develop your particular sound, you may like the fingernail sound better than the pad sound. Okay, pad is more subtle. The fingernail sound is more precise, it's a little harder hitting. Okay. And I've also seen people when they grow out their fingernails, they don't consider that the fingernail itself should be rounded also, just slightly inward, okay? So that you're not catching the string and getting stuck. I've seen people rip their fingernails because they didn't take care of the fingernails correctly. Okay, so just be mindful of that, okay? So practice that 1, 2, 3, 4, and 4, 3, 2, 1. 4, 3, 2, 1, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's probably going to be the harder one, okay? All right, so that's Strum Pattern 1. Now, what happens with Strum Pattern 2? This is 8 beats. 2 and 3 and 4 and, right? 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So look at where my 4 and ended up. It ended up on this string because we have 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. If we're going to use that pattern. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay? 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So now your fingers have to learn from your brain how to play only these 4 strings, applying to them 8 beats, right? 1 and 2 and. So here's your 3. 1 and 2 and of 2, right? So now you have to go up to 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So what are we doing? We actually have to start again on that 1 by returning to the 1. Okay? So that's it's a little more nuanced because we're dealing with the up and down picking. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then return to 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. But it's really pretty. If we try it on the C. Let's do A minor. F. G7. Okay, so it's a little more challenging, huh? But what if we did, also with this 8th beats, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now all of a sudden we can accommodate, but now we're training this hand to repeat 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So we return to the 1 instead of playing that. So again, we're doing that reverse, right? Remember when we did on the quarter beats? 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's what we can do here too. So there's not just one way of approaching this picking pattern. There's a number of different ways of approaching a picking pattern. We're going to go further with this too, because picking is, I think it's a very necessary thing for everyone to learn when you're learning your chords and stuff, when you're learning how to make changes. Very important, because you're going to be hearing certain rhythmic patterns within a movement of a song. Okay, so again, here we are: 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So that's one way of approaching 8th beats. The other is to go in reverse, right? 1 and 2 and repeat on 4. So we can play the 3. 1 and 2 and, I'm sorry, I said repeat on 4. I meant string 1. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. It's a little more difficult. So you notice that we're going to repeat on the 1 and the 3, the end of 2 and 3. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So kind of the thumb, index, middle, ring, ring, middle, index, thumb, thumb, index, middle, ring, ring, middle, index, thumb. Yeah? It's a little more challenging, huh? It changes things melodically, changes things rhythmically as well, huh? Different dynamic when you hear these notes repeating. Any questions so far? Anybody? I don't know if everybody's muted. I think everybody is muted. I can't tell right now. Okay, so let's look at, can't remember if we touched on this. Let's go to Strum Pattern 3. That's 1 and 2, 3 and 4. 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 All right? So what am I using? I use thumb, index, middle on 1 and 2. And I use my ring finger 3 and with my middle, 4 is my index. 1 and 2, 3 and 4. 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 Let's try it with a C. 1 and 2, 3 and 4. 1 and 2, 3 and 4. A minor. 1 and 2, 3 and 4. 1 and 2, 3 and 4. That's F. 1 and 2, 3 and 4. 1 and 2, 3 and 4. G7. 1 and 2, 3 and 4. 1 and 2, 3 and 4. Back to C. 3 and 4. 1 and 2, 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 3 and 4. Back to C. Okay, how does that feel? It's a bit of a challenge, huh? When it comes to picking, it's very different than strumming. Yet we're applying the same rhythmic pattern. It's much more difficult, of course, to articulate these individual notes, but it also tells you that you're dealing with, you know, these notes that are very different from one another, and you can apply them very nicely to different songs. So let's look at Can't Help Falling in Love so that we can apply these rhythms. And somebody commented last week, I think, about, was it Cynthia Lynn's version of Can't Help Falling in Love? Somebody said something about Cynthia Lynn's version, and it's really pretty. And I think the pattern that she was using was pattern number 4. 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1. I think it was. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1. I think it was that one. Or it could have been 5, too, for all I know. Okay, I was listening to it last week. It's like, I know that pattern, okay? All right, so let's look at Strum Pattern 1, but let's use 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, okay? That's where we're going in reverse, but we're not double counting on that one string, right? The 1 and 2 and 3. We're not going to do that. 1 and 2, 3 and 4 and 1. 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 1. All right? 1, 2, 3, 4.
So what is that one you're doing? That's number.
This is let's go to Strum Pattern number 1, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. But we're doing a reverse. Remember our 4 is here. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so we're not applying the ands here. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, now remember, after that 4, you go back to 1, which is here on the G, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Okay. So on F. Okay, everybody following? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So you notice the difference between what we have here on our sheet? We've got these 2 chords here, right? Each one normally would have been given what? They're 2 beats, right? But doesn't it sound a lot more conducive when we're playing this, when we're applying a whole measure to each chord instead of a half a measure to each chord? Okay, so this is part of this song being the guinea pig song. How do we apply these kinds of beats properly so that we can really absorb what this song is, how it's moving? 1, 2. Okay, so let's do the F on the intro. 1, 2, 3, 4. And 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And 1, 2, 3, 4. And 1, 2, 3, 4. It's real different, huh? It's a real different feel to this. All right? So it's doing a different thing than what we had with the strum pattern. Right? With the strum pattern, it was easy to just kind of keep that 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. It's very different when you're trying to apply picking patterns. Okay? We are keeping the same beats. We're keeping quarter beats. But now we're actually making them sound more like, we're treating them almost like eighth beats. So very different. So that's why I wanted this song specifically to be that guinea pig song, so that we can try to absorb these picking patterns, apply them as using strum patterns, and for this song. Okay, so let's look again at that intro. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, it's now it's starting to sound more like eighth beats. The eighth beats sound better with it, yeah, than these quarter beats, because the quarter beats almost naturally break up in a different way. All right, so let's look at strum pattern number 2 and see how it will apply. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and on F. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2, 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2, 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2. Okay, that's where we're doing this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2, 3 and 4 and 1 4 and. That's where we're using that reverse. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2, 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2, 3 and 4 and. So let's go to the intro. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2, 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2, 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Yes. I don't know if I can hear you. I don't know if you're on mute.
I don't understand how, what string do you hit when you're doing and? 1 and 2 and 3 and.
1 and. It's really tough because, hold on, I'm going to try to get closer to the screen, this screen here. I got to see how I can do this. Okay, here we go. Let me pull this up here. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Can you see that? 1 and.
And what's the next step though? You go back to your thumb one?
Yeah. Okay, let me play 2 measures, okay? 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1.
Okay, now
So it goes
play
back.
the intro,
Okay.
changing your chords the way you're supposed to.
Okay, hold on. Let me. I'm trying to get into position here.
Okay, that's good.
Okay,
But
okay.
a little higher.
1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2, 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 3 and 4, 1 and 2, 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 3 and 4 and. So you see, I'm following the same pattern, but look at what's happening in terms of the picking. It's actually extending out to 2 measures for each, or a whole measure. Or no, it's 2 measures. 2 measures. It becomes like 2 measures, right? Between the 2, the F and the G, 1, 2, and 3 and 4 and, instead of 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. That could have been the way. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2, 1 and 2, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. That becomes very difficult to control. Now you're talking about syncopating these rhythms a little bit differently. Yeah. So that's why it's good to try to figure this out. What can apply rhythmically? What can apply in terms of picking patterns? Okay. You guys want me to repeat that again?
Can we do it slowly?
Yes, sure. Let's do the
Okay, so
the intro.
one more other question. So when
Yeah.
you go from one, F to G7 to, to each one, there should be no pause in between that, right? It should all be like the
smooth.
same beat. Oh, that's
Yeah.
kind of hard.
Well, that's why I'm saying it's very interesting how when we're not strumming it, it's easy to make the change, right? To know where that change is supposed to happen, because it's just, you have the room, you have the space to do that. But once we start applying this picking pattern, then it sounds more conducive to play out the chord as a whole measure by itself. So we're kind of extending it out. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2, 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2, 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2, 3 and 4 and 1 and 2. Okay? Was that slow enough? Do you want me to slow it down some more? I'm trying to figure out this here. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2, 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3, 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2,
singing, you know, wise men. So that's kind of a long, the first. Okay, so we're leaving out the.
Yeah.
You're leaving out the other. You're leaving out part of it then, to get.
Yeah, well, let's do that. Wise men say. So where am I making my change? Wise, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2, 3, 4 and 1 and it's still on the 1. 1. Yeah, I'm still making a change on a 1. So instead of making the change from that C to E minor, I'm making the change. The E minor would have been on 3, right? Wise men, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Instead, now the change is happening. Wise men say. So it's happening on 1. The change is happening. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1 and 2, 3, 4. Right? Try it. Wise men, wise men, wise men. So it's happening on a different. It's a different note or different measure. So it's happening on its own measure. I find that very interesting that we can take these. If we strummed it instead of the quarter beats, right? Because that's the difference between them. We're talking about quarter beats versus eighth beats. Very different application. Yeah? People shaking their heads, oh no, this is not making sense. But it's because of strumming, you know, or strumming versus picking. And remember now, this is an accompaniment, right? It's accompanying the lyric. So it's different. It is going to be different. You can split things up, you can compress them, but if the lyric is not changing in terms of the speed of the lyric, then it's going to be different. You can apply anything you need to it to make that particular dynamic ring through. Okay? So it is more difficult. All right? It might be better for us to look at a different song instead of this guinea pig song, right? Would another song be a better source to figure out how do these strums apply versus a picking pattern? Who knows? Does anybody have any suggestions for songs that you'd like to learn and try to pluck them out? I'm trying to think. One might be like it might be two. It might that wouldn't be it. I was thinking about Brown Eyed Girl, but that's not going to work because that's a different kind of picking pattern altogether. It's not covered by this either. That's going to be what we call double stops. Okay? But what I want you guys to do is practice these picking patterns. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2, 3. 1 and 2, 3 and 4. Okay? I gotta get back to here. I'm outside of the light. Okay. Okay. Now, another thing that I wanted to cover with picking pattern 2, the 8th beats, is when we look at chords. Another way to look at them, besides the counting, right? 1, 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 1 and 2, 3 and 4, and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, is to take these notes that are under our fingers for these particular chords, and let's use the intro. Let's use the intro for Can't Help Falling in Love. And we're going to take these combinations of strings, and I just want you to use your thumb and index finger and pluck pairs. The pairs being 4 and 3, 3 and 2, 2 and 1. Just get used to plucking them. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. They can just be random, just the random pairs. Okay? 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. This is to train these fingers. Okay? The finger and the thumb. So that's F and G7. Do I have to come closer again? I don't have a light on me, so that's why I'm not sure what you guys can see. See, I'm just plucking 2. It's the pairs. Strings 4 and 3. 3 and 2, 2 and 1. How does that feel? Can you see that? So what am I plugging? I'm plugging the G and the D, right? These two. The D and the F. The F and the B. How does that feel? Okay. That's good. That's good. Yeah, just these two.
The finger is more like this.
Yeah, it's more like a pinch. Yeah, you see that? It's like a pinch. But you see how my thumb is still forward? It's still ahead of my finger. The idea is to pluck them together. What is this? What did you say? What's it called? What's it called? Well, for lack of a better term, I would say that these are like what we call double stops. Okay, so if we take an F chord, here's your F, right? Here's the F chord. There we go. So here my F, right? There's my A. That's my A here on top, right? A and the open C of my F chord. And I'm going to play the C and the F, and the F and the A. So you hear the differences in them? That's why I want you to be able to relate to that too, the different sounds that are inside a chord. They're inside the chord. So it's not, can you hear all four notes separate from each other? No, you can't. Not when you're strumming. You hear them side by side, but you don't hear them separated. Now you can hear them separated. Now you can hear what the chord sounds like in its parts. Okay, so that's F. Let's do G7. Let's listen to what G7 sounds like. It's the open G and the D here, right? And the D and the F and the F and the B. Yeah, so this is a good way for you to explore your chords. I don't know if you can see that. And here's the C, right? C and a, it's an open C, right? So G, open G, and the open C. The open C and the open E. The open E and third fret of C. That's your C chord. So you hear the different notes of a C chord. 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, 2. Okay. Okay, so it's just different ways for you to hear your chords. 1, 2, 3. What's that song? Da 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 da. Ah. I forgot what song that's a waltz thing. Da 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 da. So you see how those notes are harmonized? Okay, those are harmonized tones. Was it you who asked the question, Rose? Was it you, Rose? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Harmonized tones or double stops. We call them double stops as well. You hear double stops a lot in guitar playing. Okay. Say that again.
For waltz,
Yeah.
you do the
I just I discovered that when I was doing the. So I want you all to explore that. That's what these, it's not just strumming. It's beats. It's articulating these notes. Chords are made up of 3 notes, at least 3 notes. But I want you to be able to hear them. There's so much more for you to hear in a single chord. This is what we did earlier. I think we did this for the beginner class, where we talked about Frere Jacques, right? What's Frere Jacques when it's sung? It's just individual notes, it's individual melody notes. Frere Jacques, Frere Jacques, Frere Jacques, Frere Jacques. Right? They're all individual notes. Yeah? That's what I did with doubles. Da, 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 da. Everything was ringing off of that C. Okay? So I want you to hear those notes. Don't just strum. Know what the chords are. Know what makes them up. What makes this chord what it is. They're all individual notes, and I want you to be able to hear them, not just play them. You know, get to know those chords. Anybody have any questions? Anybody else? And I'm sorry for the confusion on the on those beats because this is not easy. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, but these are exercises to get your fingers moving, to hear the notes. You know what's really fascinating for me is to teach your brain where those notes are. Where those notes are. You're going to, the more you practice, the more you hear, the more your fingers are going to go where your brain tells it to go. Your brain's going to say, I need to hear a D here in this song. And your fingers are going to know where to go. You can put your finger on the note right here on your left hand, but if the right hand never reaches it, it's not going to play it. So your right hand has to know, your fingers have to know where to go also in order to strike that note. So both of them are working in tandem with each other. So I don't want you to think that this is just about strumming, it's just about picking. It's about getting used to hearing these sounds. Okay, and when we were doing that, the home position, I want you to be able, over time, to be able to do this. See, each note is articulated, right? But doing it rapidly. To be able to just kind of float through them, right? And cascade the notes. You should be able to do that with just your practice time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So your objective should be accuracy and speed. You will do this, okay? Make sure that you're stretching your fingers, keeping them limber. Because now with this picking, your fingers actually have to be more limber, right? Not so much with the right hand strumming, is just basically keeping the wrist straight. This is different. Yeah, you have to be more limber, finger-wise. And remember now, keep this part of the hand stiff from the knuckle, the palm knuckle, out to the primary knuckle of the fingers, because it's these parts that need to be moving. So this stays stable. This is stable. This is what's moving. That's what you always want. Unlike the left hand. The left hand, you know, you have to have dexterity all the way down here. So this is different. And one of the things that I do, I always do this kind of exercise where I'm stretching out my fingers. Stretching them out so they stay limber. Keep your thumb, I always rotate my thumb like this. Okay, and go backwards too. Go backwards as well. And stretch, stretch, stretch. And then you do the clench. You do the clench. Because you see my fingertips here? They're almost touching the pad of my palm. If you can do that, then that's good. This strengthens this muscle here. That's where you're going to feel the strain. So if it hurts, you know, don't continue. Go at it slower, okay? But this is what you want, and you want it also on this hand too. See, like the claw, like a clench. You had a question, Rosa?
Yes, Carla, is your right elbow, do you have it close to the side of your chest?
It depends. It depends on the chord. Like with B flat, yeah, I keep it real close, right? If it's a G7, then my elbow is lifted up, like that, right?
No, the right elbow.
Well, my elbow is here.
Oh, so it's free?
Yeah,
You
it's
move it?
my forearm is here on the butt of my ukulele. So it's like this. So you see where my elbow is?
Yeah.
It's back here, because this is more important, right here. And the reason why I want my elbow to be stabilized here is because my wrist has to lift up so that I can deliver my fingers to my strumming area, which is here above the shoulder of the ukulele, right? This is strumming. And this is picking, right here, over the sound hole. So you see how my forearm is in the same position, but it allows my wrist to raise up so I can do this. Okay, when it comes to strumming, my forearm is in the same position, but now I'm flattening out my arm a little bit so that when my wrist has to deliver my fingers, it's right there. Everything's stable. Only where movement is needed are you going to have movement. Where you don't need it, then otherwise you're going to tire out your arm. Okay? You're welcome. Are you in the beginner class, Rose? Did you start in the beginner class? Okay. All right. Okay. All right, guys. Very good. Just keep this plucking exercise, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then reverse. 4, 3, 2, 1. 4, 3, 2, 1. 4, 3, 2, 1. And like I said, this is your weakest finger. This is the one that's going to need the most attention, probably. Okay? So try to strengthen that. And remember now, you're plucking from the side. Either you're going to use your finger or you're going to use pad. And you want to get that flow, that cascade movement. That's your objective, and that comes with speed. You can't do it slow. It's not going to make sense. Okay, but as you speed up, then it becomes easier. Okay? All right. So it's a little after 6. Everybody have a wonderful Memorial Day weekend. Stay cool. It's supposed to be 100 degrees, I think, by Monday.
Wow.
Yeah.
Carla,
Okay, you guys take care. Thank you.
be the great guy.
Okay, all right. If got a question,